Halo on PC is something that, until recently, has not received much attention from Microsoft and their subsidiary 343 Industries. The only classic FPS experiences available to the Halo PC community are Halo Combat Evolved and Custom Edition and Halo 2 Vista. While Halo Custom Edition and Combat Evolved showed a modicum of success in the PC market, Halo 2 Vista didn't fare as well as its predecessor. Halo 2 Vista is something that is commonly overshadowed when discussing Halo on PC, or at least is referenced with negative connotation. I thought I would take this time to sit down and take a look into the history of Halo 2 Vista and the events that led it to become a well-known, easily forgotten failure. I will be going over the history of Halo 2 Vista from the game that came before it, to its development, its eventual launch, its reception, and where it stands today. We'll start by looking at the only Halo game to come to PC before Halo 2 Vista, and how it set the stage for Halo 2 Vista. Let's start with Halo Combat Evolved for PC. To better understand the impact that Halo 2 Vista had on Halo on PC, it's important we look at what came before it. That would be none other than Halo Combat Evolved and Halo Custom Edition. I will be leaving the history and description of Custom Edition and Combat Evolved fairly short, only including the main points that give you the gist of what it was and how it set the stage for Halo 2 Vista. The tag team duo that still gets endless praise to this day is none other than the aforementioned Halo Combat Evolved and Halo Custom Edition. Both of those games were made possible for a PC audience by Gearbox Software, a company which is headquartered not too far from where I grew up here in Texas. Halo Combat Evolved on PC, at least when it launched back in 2003, had a host of compatibility and performance issues to deal with. These flaws would by design be transferred to Custom Edition as well. However, with many patches and updates came the more stable and enjoyable rendition of Halo PC and Halo Custom Edition that we have today. So what exactly is this Halo Custom Edition thing you keep mentioning? Well, Halo Custom Edition could be considered an expansion of Halo Combat Evolved for PC, complete with a developer mode and the Halo editing kit that we will talk about a little bit later on. While Halo Combat Evolved for PC lacked polish at launch, it made up for it with a bustling online community that simply wasn't available to Xbox players at the time. Even after GameSpy Arcade, the providers of the online servers for Halo Combat Evolved and Custom Edition, shut their doors, the multiplayer for Halo PC and CE continued to thrive thanks to the community and a third-party internet gaming service, similar to GameSpy. A company known as Game Ranger now hosts all of Halo Custom Edition and Halo Combat Evolved's PC servers. And Bungie released a patch back in 2014 that removes the GameSpy server from Halo PC and CE altogether. With this patch, and the change of hats if you want to call it that, Halo PC and CE are still online capable and bustling with players to this very day. Halo 2 Vista, on the other hand, is an entirely different beast with a not so happy story. Halo 2 Vista was the PC port of Halo 2 to the Windows Vista platform by Hired Gun, a subsidiary of Microsoft Game Studios created with the purpose of porting Halo 2 to the PC, among other various smaller projects within Microsoft Game Studios. Halo 2 Vista was initially set to be released on May 8, 2007, that is around 3 months after the worldwide release of Microsoft's Windows Vista operating system. As you could imagine, Halo 2 Vista was used to help push sales of Windows Vista and create that incentive. I mean, Microsoft has a history of using Halo as a selling tool for their products, so there's not much surprise here, is there? However, the initial launch was delayed so the team could make some improvements to the install experience and address technical issues, or to stabilize the game before its worldwide release. The release date was initially pushed back from May 8th to May 22nd due to the aforementioned improvements, but was pushed back again to the final release date of May 31st due to partial nudity being found in the Halo 2 map editor kit. For your information, it was someone's butt. Halo 2 Vista finally launched worldwide on May 31st, 2007, despite the fact that Australia had publicly made copies available, and some stores in the United States started selling copies early as well. All of this prior to the official release date of May 31st. Even though some players were able to obtain the game before its official release date, May 31st is still credited as the official release date by Microsoft themselves. The game was packed with a lot of features that the Xbox version of the game simply lacked, but was still received fairly poorly by the community for reasons I'll touch on a bit later. But for now, we're going to go over some of those new juicy features that Halo 2 Vista brought to the table. As you could imagine, Halo 2 Vista and Halo 2 for the Xbox are in fact the same game on surface level. The differences stem from the extras that each game provided. While the Xbox version came with all that was needed to make it the most played game on Xbox for 2 consecutive years after launch, the PC version came packed with more bells and whistles. There were even some functions that Halo 2 Vista tried out that would later be adopted by Microsoft on the Xbox platform, such as the first example we're going to take a gander at. Halo 2 Vista was the first and only Microsoft PC game to use the Tray and Play system to emulate the experience of playing on a console without having to completely install the game first. Essentially, Halo 2 Vista would allow you to play the game from the optical disc as it installs in the background. This would in theory eliminate the need to wait on the installation before playing the game. You could equate this to the current system that the Xbox One uses, where you can play parts of the game that have installed while the rest of the game finishes installing in the background. One of the most talked about and obvious features Halo 2 Vista brought to the table was the increased max resolution and better textures. The Xbox version of Halo 2 had a locked resolution of 720 by 480 and a 30 FPS frame rate, while the Windows Vista version of Halo 2 was capable of running at 1920 by 1080 and has a 60 FPS frame rate. Just a small fun fact, Halo 2 Vista is the only pre-Master Chief Collection Halo game that is able to truly run at 60 FPS in all modes, not just the menus. Whereas every pre-Xbox One Halo game is locked at 30 FPS during gameplay. Technically, Halo Combat Evolved on PC was capable of running at 60 FPS. The difference is that all animations for characters, vehicles, effects, etc. are locked at 30 FPS, as it is in all pre-Xbox One Halo games. Realistically, it's almost unnoticeable, but if you look hard enough, you can see the choppy animations in Halo Combat Evolved on PC. Halo 2 Vista was the first title in the Halo series to feature Microsoft's Xbox 360/Games for Windows Live achievement system, and therefore is the only way to get achievements for Halo 2. There were various integrated campaign and multiplayer achievements that would later be replicated in Halo 3 and onwards. Some achievements involved getting a killing spree or beating the campaign on each difficulty, etc., etc. A small, but still noteworthy addition to Halo 2 Vista was its use of a server browser rather than relying solely on quick matching. You could find any map, any game mode, and any rule set by using the filtering options on the server browser, which is something that isn't new to PC, but hasn't been seen on console at all during this point in gaming. So if you were a Halo 2 console player and you got the PC version, this would be a new feature to you, assuming you haven't played any other PC game. The most robust feature that Halo 2 Vista brought was the Halo 2 editing kit, a map editor based on the original Halo editing kit from Halo Custom Edition. Because of how different, yet the same, this feature was compared to the Halo editing kit, and how it paved the way for Forge in Halo 3 and each subsequent Halo title thereafter, I will be giving the map editor its own special section, which is coming up next. So without any further ado, let's talk about Halo 2 Vista's map editor. For the sake of ease, I'll be abbreviating Halo Custom Edition's editing kit as HEK, and Halo 2 Vista's editing kit as H2ME. We're going to be referencing this HEK a lot in this section of the video, so I thought we're due for a simple definition of what the HEK actually is and what it's capable of. The HEK is a repackaging of the development tools that Bungie created and used in the development of Halo Combat Evolved, which was released for free by Gearbox when they ported Halo Combat Evolved to the PC. The capabilities of the HEK include the addition of AIs, custom BIPs, assets from other Halo games or franchises altogether, as well as detailed and in-depth scripting capabilities, just to name a few things. HEK has allowed a skilled modder the ability to make anything, ranging from a simple custom map, with or without AIs, to their own campaign, complete with cutscenes, voice acting, animations, custom assets, and anything the heart could desire. I mean, look at projects like SPV3 as a testament to what HEK is capable of. I am not over-exaggerating when I say the opportunities HEK brings to the table are near endless. All of this opportunity was available to modders for free with Halo Custom Edition. But does H2ME come even close to the abilities granted by HEK? The short and the sweet of it is no.
How about no?
H2ME has been speculated to have a lot of features disabled or deleted prior to its public release. The features that are rumored to be disabled would have allowed for custom tag creation, or the ability to create custom player models, weapons, vehicles, etc., and the ability to script cutscenes or AI, among other things. With the capabilities of scripting and creating custom tags not present, H2ME is a simple map editor when compared to HEK. While H2ME is much more in-depth and complex than Halo 3's Forge, which would be released a few short months after Halo 2 Vista launched, there is no doubt that it was fairly lackluster when compared to its previous incarnation. You could compare H2ME to Halo 5's Forge, as they both possess the ability to edit terrain, the skybox, and have much more in-depth item customization and placement options. H2ME in actuality is a conglomerate of different smaller programs that work in tandem to create Halo 2 Vista maps. These programs are aptly titled Halo 2 Tool, Halo 2 Sapien, Halo 2 Gorilla, and Halo 2 Map Editor Launcher. Halo 2 Tool is used to compile and convert data to create tags from external sources such as 3ds Max, or is the tool used to convert data files into a format that Halo 2 Vista can actually read. Halo 2 Gorilla is the tool you would use to edit tags in the game engine, such as editing the skybox and some textures for things like walls. Halo 2 Sapien is the program that could be essentially called the actual Forge mode. This is the program used to place items in the map and change map properties with a nice little game view window, so you can visualize your map. Lastly, Halo 2 Map Editor Launcher is simply the tool used to launch each individual part of the editor, such as Sapien or Gorilla, assuming you don't have desktop icons for each individual program. There are actually very detailed archives that go into much more in-depth detail on how to use the editor and each of its components on the Halo Map website. I will go ahead and link it in the description if you feel you might want to tinker with the Halo 2 map editor a little bit. You could essentially place H2ME between Halo 3's Forge and HEK, both in terms of age and capabilities. This, as well as a fairly small community of Halo 2 Vista players, Halo 2 Vista being swept under the rug by Halo 3's impending launch, and a much more prevalent problem relating to proprietary operating systems that we will talk about later on, all led to Halo 2 Map Editor falling under the radar for much of the map making, later dubbed Forge community. Halo 2 Map Editor did have its fans, don't get me wrong, and there are plenty of custom maps out for download on halomaps.org, but its community is dwarfed by that of the Halo Custom Edition map editing community and the Halo Forgers on the console versions of the game. So now we have a synopsis of all the features that were jam-packed into Halo 2 Vista. But how did the PC gaming community and the greater Halo community respond to this feature-packed game? From a critical perspective, Halo 2 Vista wasn't a bad game. The game sits at a 72% on Metacritic, which, at least in my experience, isn't failing. However, the community's response to Halo 2 Vista was definitely a lot different than that of the critics. The community did not take Halo 2 Vista very well. The reviews were split between positive and negative, leaning more towards the latter. A lot of the complaints the community gave revolved mostly around poor frame rate, general unoptimization, and expecting more from the PC port than what was delivered. I find this funny because the PC port included a lot more than the Xbox version did. I imagine this discontent stems from the smaller community and the proprietary OS, which we will now talk about. One of the bigger issues was that Halo 2 Vista, as the name implies, was made for Windows Vista and solely Windows Vista. Halo 2 Vista was not compatible and would not work on anything other than Windows Vista, which, as we all remember, was a hot mess. The silver lining being it does work with all operating systems newer than Windows Vista, such as 7, 8, and 10. But that wasn't really an option when the game initially launched, now was it? It should also be noted that some specific versions of Windows XP were able to run the game, but not many people were willing to go through the trouble of finding the compatible version and rolling their OS back to that version. Due to this, the XP community almost unanimously never got to experience Halo 2 Vista unless they upgraded to a poorly received operating system. Do you see where the problem lies? Halo 2 Vista's negative community feedback, less than stellar sales, and issues with its port to PC created a very significant issue with Microsoft, one that hasn't really been addressed until recently. Due to how Halo 2 Vista performed with the community and in sales, Microsoft has had a hard time ever justifying putting any other Halo game on PC. Some would argue that this is the main reason no other Halo game until recently has ever been ported to PC. I, however, believe it's a main factor, but not the sole factor. There's a lot more that goes into making a decision like porting a game to a new platform, but sales and performance of pre-existing ports is definitely a main factor. Now that we know how Halo 2 Vista was received at launch, the question now is, how is Halo 2 being treated today? What's Halo 2 Vista's current state, and how is it being handled? Well, the answer isn't all butterflies and rainbows. It's been 11 years since Halo 2 Vista and Windows Vista itself has launched. So where is Halo 2 Vista today? Well, today, Halo 2 Vista is nearly dead. There are little to no players active, and it's almost completely fallen off the map. It's no doubt that Halo 2 Vista being proprietary for Windows Vista most likely acted as the largest barrier to entry for most of the Halo PC community. Windows Vista was, and still is, seen as the worst incarnation of Windows to date, and many people wouldn't end up ever upgrading to Vista. Rather, they'd wait for Windows 7. Thus, they wouldn't be capable of playing Halo 2 Vista at all until they got Windows 7. This, along with all the other negative press and performance issues, would lead to a quick death for Halo 2 Vista, or so we think. The servers for Halo 2 Vista didn't end up being shut down till well after 343 Industries took the reins of the Halo franchise. The official shutdown of Halo 2 Vista was set to happen on February 15th, 2013. However, the server shutdown date got pushed back to early 2014. And even then, it wasn't until July of 2015 that the Halo 2 Vista servers were officially shut down for good. That would be a little less than 2 years after 343 Industries announced the official shutdown of Halo 2 Vista's servers. Regardless of if the servers had been shut down or not, Halo 2 Vista's population was, and still is, basically non-existent. In November of 2015, a community-made revival mod called Project Cartographer allowed Halo 2 Vista players to play online through community-ran servers. The installation for this mod is fairly simple, and there is still an active community playing Halo 2 Vista using this mod. I would check the link in the description for a video about installing Project Cartographer. On a side note, I think it's important to mention that Halo 2 Vista is considered abandonware, or software that has been discontinued and has had its support ceased by the developer. While Microsoft still technically owns the copyright to Halo 2 Vista, they have shown that they are leaving its copyright undefended. This has allowed mods like Project Cartographer to thrive without being cease and desisted by Microsoft, and has allowed modders to use the software without fear of repercussions. You can download Project Cartographer and Halo 2 Vista completely free through Project Cartographer as well as many other sources. I, however, bought a hard copy of Halo 2 Vista back in 2008, and I don't condone piracy. And I will always opt to support the developer regardless if they support their creation or not. That being said, it should be noted that the game is easier to acquire than ever, now that you can find it online for free without fear of repercussions. So essentially there is little to no excuse to not at least give Halo 2 Vista a try, because it's an experience that won't be easily replicated, for better or for worse, by other Halo games should they come to the PC platform, and is an important and dark page in the history of Halo as a whole and Halo on PC. You could argue that I've gone way too far in depth with Halo 2 Vista, its life, the legacy it was supposed to live up to, and how it's been treated by the community and the developers. However, the Halo PC community has certainly been wronged when it comes to FPS Halo games, and even though 343 Industries has stated that they're working to include Halo on the PC platform from here on out, it doesn't change the past. I felt the first official video of my Halo exclusive YouTube channel should be in remembrance of the forgotten Halo PC title. With that being said, we have arrived at the conclusion of this video. To sum things up, Halo 2 Vista was the PC port of Halo 2 that came out 3 years after its Xbox counterpart. It was jam-packed with features that would later be adopted by future games in the franchise, and the Xbox platform as a whole. It unfortunately fell out of the community's minds because of the horrible Windows Vista barrier to entry, performance issues, and other small nitpicks. I definitely think Halo 2 Vista is in need of a revival, similar to the MCC. I am not saying stop playing MCC and pick up a copy of Halo 2 by any means, but if you're a PC Halo player and you gave up on Halo 2 Vista for whatever reason, I definitely think you should consider reinstalling Halo 2 Vista and Project Cartographer and giving it another shot. If you've never played Halo 2 Vista, I'd say now is the best time to check it out and see what a small slice of Halo history it was. I hope this first video regarding Halo 2 Vista gives some of you an idea of what kind of Halo content I plan on bringing to the table. I may or may not make a video that acts as a formal introduction later on. However, until then, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.